Welcome back to Minecraft, my name is Scorpios, and today we're back at our base from the RambleSMP server. So you may notice that things look a little different, and in fact the server just updated to 1.18, which means we are recording without optifying. We are going to be missing time lapses, of course, but I think we will be okay. And speaking of which, I actually still cannot believe that we pulled off this project during the last episode. It was quite an intense episode, just because of the sheer magnitude of this project. So yeah, this is the latest addition to my survival base, and I think the total build time of this project came down to be about 5 to 6 hours, and another 30 minutes or so to add all of the roof decoration up there. And by the way, if you have not yet checked out my last episode, I'm going to put a link down in the video description, and you should check it out because it was quite an epic episode. And as you can see here, we are now expanding into a brand new area of our base, and this is going to be an area with a different atmosphere. But of course, that also means that we still have a lot of work to do in this new area. So I thought that I would do a more relaxed episode this week, and we're just going to do some decoration here and there around this base and see how much we can accomplish around here. So I'm going to start off the episode with some road construction work, and the first project is going to be something that has been bothering me for this entire week. So as you can see here, we have this deep slate road system that goes all the way around our base, and on the side here we also have these pedestrian paths, and it just makes sense, right? It really looks like a real life city. But I have noticed that the road in this part of our base is a little off, and after spending a long time looking at this road, I came to the realization that this road here is missing a pedestrian path on the side. And by the way, it looks like we have some type of possible creeper damage around here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fix this up first. And luckily this is going to be an easy fix. So we're just going to put down some andesite blocks and some acacia doors on the outside here. So let's close the door here. So as I was saying, I ran through several options for this project. So one thing that I thought about doing is to add a 2 blocks wide pedestrian path off to the side here and leave a very narrow 4 block wide street. But I decided to go with option B, which is to cover up this street with brick blocks. As you can see here, that is exactly what we did here. We turned this street into a pedestrian road. And another thing that I'm also going to do here is to add a little bit of texture. So I'm going to use some granite blocks. All right, that is looking a little bit better. And I'm just going to put down a few more accent blocks, which are going to be these polished andesite blocks. And I think maybe one more over here and another here. And we now have a very nice pedestrian road. And while I was working on this project, I did come up with another thing that I can add. So I'm going to go ahead and take out, I would say 3 blocks over here and 3 blocks next to it. And after that, we're going to put down some white concrete blocks, and that looks like something that you will see in a real city. And in fact, I'm going to do the same thing on this street here. So we're going to wrap up here, and the next intersection that I'm thinking of is going to be down here. So this street here is also quite a busy looking street. So I think we can fit something into here, and we're just going to put down another pedestrian crossing. All right, here we go. And the next location is going to be right here, right next to our fast food restaurant. We have some place for you to sit down and enjoy a meal while looking at this beautiful base. But anyways, I am going to put down a pedestrian crossing on this spot right here. But one problem here is that this street is only 4 blocks wide, so this is actually not enough space for us to put down vertical lines like the ones that you're seeing here. And this is the solution that I came up with. So we're just going to do 2 horizontal lines instead, exactly like this. All right, and after that, we're going to come over to this main intersection here. And because this is a wider intersection, we're going to switch back to using our vertical lines and another pedestrian crossing over here as well. But here we're going to be using shorter lines. And I think that is a very nice addition to our base. And speaking of road construction, another project that I have been thinking about is to expand the main roads of this base even further. So during the last episode, I mentioned that this road down here, which is exactly 10 blocks wide, is going to be one of the main roads of this base. And all the way in the back, there is another road that is also 10 blocks wide. And with that said, I do have a lot more build projects planned for this season. And speaking of which, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you should go ahead and subscribe. And we just did some work around here. So basically, I expanded this road by a lot. So this road used to end around here, And now it goes all the way down here. And on this side, I've also started measuring the existing structure. So this mega highway here, which we built a few episodes ago. And this is quite a monolithic structure, which we are going to expand down towards this direction in an upcoming episode. So yeah, basically in the next episode, we are going to continue expanding this area. So this street corner here has been empty for a long time. And I've thought about putting down a building here, but I've realized that this area here is not really big enough to fit a full building. So I've came up with an alternative solution where we're going to turn this plot of land into a garden, a park. And as you can see here, I've started creating some custom trees. So right now I'm just going to make this grassy area a little bit larger, and after that we're going to come back and put down even more of these custom trees. Well, after doing some work here, we now have a space in which we can construct a park. And I'm thinking of opening up a pedestrian entrance over here and perhaps another access point over here. And the next thing that I'm going to do here is to wall off this entire park area. So I'm just going to build a stone wall all the way around this plot. And in terms of the design for this wall, I'm actually going to use a similar design that I've used over here. But of course, this wall here is a curved wall. And on this side here, we're going to construct something that is more or less straight. And as you can imagine, the building process for a wall like this is quite complex. So I'm going to get this project started. I feel like this is going to take a while. So I'll check back with you guys
a few moments later.
And we're back with a progress report. So here we have pretty much enclosed this entire plot, this type of fence that you're seeing here, and we have a side entrance right over here. So yeah, basically we're just going to create this path that goes into this park, and we're going to do the same thing over on this side here as well. And of course, this is going to require less blocks because it is a shorter distance from this park to the main street. And here we go, this is done. And over on this side here, there is another modification that I wanted to add. So here, as you can see, I intentionally left this section of this wall solid so it doesn't have the same pattern that you see on the rest of this wall here. And there is a good reason for leaving this wall solid. That is because we're going to add something here above. So we're just going to use our stone brick walls and create these decorative structures all the way across and basically cover up this area on top here. And I think that is going to look pretty nice. I think this is going to sort of divide this entire space and create a more diverse experience as someone is walking through this park. Alright, this is looking good, and it is going to look even better with some added decoration. So here, let's start by putting down some leaves. So we're just going to kind of turn this into a leafy tunnel. And here, I guess we could mix in some different textures. So here, I'm going to put down some spruce leaves as well. And of course, this tunnel is going to have a path that goes all the way across. So let's work out exactly where this path is going to go. And I think this is looking pretty good so far. One thing that we can always add is to put down some bone meal around here, and that is going to generate some flowers. We can maybe take out the tall grass here, so let's get rid of these. And let's do the same thing on the other side here as well. And here we go. And another thing that we have to do here is to build more of these custom trees. So I'm actually not an expert at building these trees myself. In fact, in my over 10 years of Minecraft career, I have attempted custom trees for a handful of times. So this would actually be a good opportunity for me to practice. And just like that, this tree is complete. But of course, as you can see here, I did plant a few more trees around here. So of course, that means I'm going to keep building. So on the left side here, we have this generic looking tree, and I added some of these blocks, and it is giving this tree a very vibrant color. And over here, we have a smaller version of the same tree. And because this is a smaller tree, it is not blooming yet like this tree here. And instead, it's got these younger leaves. I would say that this is a very nice corner being developed, and right now I'm actually working on making a path that connects this street here with the rest of the path over there. Alright, so now we have a path that goes across here. The next thing that I'm going to do is just to put down some more bone meals around this area, and I would say that this looks about right. So we're just also going to create a path on this side here as well. And this could be a narrower path. So here it's really just 2 blocks wide, so it's nothing crazy. But once again, we are going to put down some vegetation off to the side. And I would say that this is a good start for this area here. Later on in the season, we are going to come back here and do more work. But I did want to show you guys a project which I completed recently. So on the outskirts of our base, so as you can see here, this road starts right outside of my base. And it is actually not too far car to the entrance of my highway system. So this is actually going to be quite a long road. So I'm going to give you guys a tour on my Elytra. So let's take off here. So this road cuts across this spruce forest and there's a bridge here. And after a few twists and turns, there is a section of this road that is right next to the ocean, and it does have a very nice view. And after that, this road is going to connect all the way to the base of Amerdon. So this is another member of the server. He is building a very nice urban base, and I do like the style of brick buildings that he has opted for this season. But the reason I wanted to take a flight around here is to get to a different part of this world, and that is going to require us to keep flying along the existing road system. So somewhere around here, we are starting to see the development of a shopping district of sorts. And I say that because I don't know if it's official yet, but people are starting to build shops around here. So a few episodes ago, I did a boxing tournament with Kit at this arena here, and in fact Kit also took this plot of land here and built up a rocket shop, and this building is looking quite nice. And of course, as a Minecraft builder myself, I cannot leave you guys without having built something in this episode. So we're going to build our very first shop here on this server, and I think I'm going to use this piece of land here to do exactly that. And of course, in order to have a shop, we're going to need a shop building. So I'm going to start by chiseling out a flat piece of land in this area here. And I think this will do. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So we have this flat piece of land, which should be enough space for us to build a shop. And here we're going to set up a workstation. So I'm going to grab some materials and I'm going to start building. And after doing some work, we now have a foundation for this build. So this is a fairly small one. So far in this season, I have been mostly building in a modern style. But for this build, well, it is going to be a shop. So the building itself has to express what is being sold here, which you will have to watch the next episode to find out, so make sure to stay tuned. But hey, if you have a guess as for what this shop is going to be, make sure to leave a comment down below. We are going to be building in more of a classical style, so we're not going to do anything too experimental. And with that said, I still have a bit more work to do, so I will be right back. And now on top of this foundation, we also have a brick shell. So in addition to the brick blocks, I also mixed in some andesite blocks, and we now have a space for our shop. So the next step is to build a simple roof. Well, and now we have a roof on here as well. And the last thing that I'm working on here is to install some windows. So here I'm just using a simple window design that I've used previously on one of my build tutorials. And I really think that having some green color is going to bring this building to life. So here I'm going to put down some leaves, and underneath we're going to put down some trapdoors to support the leaves, and let's put down some window blinds out here as well. And yeah, we're just going to cover up all of these leaves with some signs. And with some added window decoration, this building is really coming to life right now. We do have a front door here, which I'm actually going to close up because very unfortunately we are running out of time for this episode. And that means we are going to start our next episode with a grand opening of our new shop. And with that said, I'm going to fly back to my base and get some rest. And I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. I will be releasing a brand new episode every single weekend. And with that said, we have returned to our base. And as I mentioned during the next episode, we are going to continue doing some base expansion in preparation of some pretty massive build projects that I have planned for you guys to enjoy. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time.